Wow, what a crazy couple months this has been for Bitcoin. I've heard Bitcoin in headlines. Bitcoin's being compared to the Dutch tulip bulb mania, right, of the 17th century. And then other people are saying that Bitcoin is going to go to 168,000 by the 2022. Both of which I think are a little bit far fetched. Is Bitcoin going to completely disappear? No, of course not. Bitcoin is something that is going to be here to stay for a long, long time. It's new technology. It's not something like the tulip bulb mania because there's always been tulip bulbs. People have always been buying and selling them. There's nothing new going on with them, right? And I know it's kind of a weird stretch to compare, but it's just on a simple market level. Bitcoin's here to stay, and it's something that's going to be evolving steadily over the next 100 years until the last Bitcoin is mined in 2140, right? And we're not even going to be here to experience it. I wish we were, just so I could see what kind of video the games there are in that time. You know what I mean? The only reason I would want to live forever is just to play the video games in the future. And that's really it. Other than that, let the kids have their fun. But man, Bitcoin has just been on a sick burn, since July. Bitcoin kind of hit that round number. It was like down around 30,000. It dropped below $30,000, and I think a lot of like basic crypto people like us, we saw that and we started throwing some money into it. Now Bitcoin's kind of been like this steady train, over the last year since it's found these new highs, right? But boy, it's hitting new all-time highs. How high is it going to go? Are we going to see is it going to double in value? I don't think so. Now this isn't financial advice. I don't think it's going to double in value in the next year. But will it eventually? Oh, of course. I mean, it really comes down to how long do you want to wait. I honestly think that the sky is really the limit for Bitcoin. Okay. Now, other cryptocurrencies, I think there's a lot of gains that can be had over the next year. I think there's a lot of opportunity in a lot of different cryptocurrencies. We're going to get into them as the months progress. I have some really interesting news on a couple different cryptocurrencies. But with the new ETFs, with the new Bitcoin ETF that was just launched yesterday. Now this is a futures ETF. This isn't like spot market. It's not the immediate price, right? It's banking on Bitcoin futures. But this is a step in a direction where everyday investors, my mom, your dad, my grandparents, they're going to be hearing and they're going to be seeing Bitcoin on regular exchanges, on regular charts. You're going to see the word. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to kind of move out of that realm of some sort of non-understood internet technology that's scary to them, right? It's going to be something that people are going to start trusting. It's not just going to be pure speculation, right? And that's why I think these ETFs are really good. What could be bad? Yeah, it's gonna bring in big money. It's gonna bring in manipulation. But we already see that already. There's so much manipulation already. Something I heard was that Israel is launching a digital shekel. And let's talk about these government-run digital currencies. Okay, they're a joke. There's nothing different between a digital dollar run by the United States government and the dollar. They could, they hit a key and make more. You know what I mean? And this completely goes against everything that cryptocurrency was made for. It's really just it's pointless. You know what I mean? That's why it's I don't like to see the water get muddied with these government run cryptocurrencies, and when you see news of the Israeli digital shekel, this is something that's completely different than some sort of deflationary currency on a blockchain. It's kind of like they wanna get involved in it, so because they didn't get involved soon enough, and then that kind of bothers me. Let's get into the price of Ethereum. A lot of my friends bought Ethereum when it was high, they bought Ethereum and they're saying, hey man, oh boy, I really think I should get out, man. How low is it gonna go, And I think the low, I think around July, seems to be when the market bottomed out. It was about 1,800. I had a couple friends that sold around 2,000 when it was coming back up, and I was like, boy, it's not financial advice. Do what you want to do. I don't have a lot of Ethereum, but I do have a few Ethereums, and I was like, man, I really believe the sky's the limit for Ethereum. I think there's a lot of growth, especially when Ethereum 2.0 gets launched. I have some of mine locked up on Coinbase, and now that I'm crunching the numbers, I see it's not the greatest place to have it locked up, but I wasn't that experienced when I did it. You know what I mean? Either way, my friends that held on to it, a couple of them, they're calling me. They're like, man, Ethereum hit 3,400. It's back. It's hitting its all-time high. And now we're just, where's it gonna go from here? And that's awesome, man. That's that excitement that I love cryptocurrency for. These wild fluctuations, these high, exciting moments. That's what I live for, man. It's so fun. And with Bitcoin, with the ETFs, boy, there's so much room to grow, For a while there, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, I don't know, it's dead, it's not going to be moving, maybe it'll move in a couple of years, right? But look how much it moved in 3 months. So, it just really goes to show that the whims of society as a whole, the what the government does and what the government says, it really affects this stuff. For a long time we saw such terrible news about Bitcoin, and now I'm talking about Bitcoin because everything kind of tracks Bitcoin. It kind of mirrors Bitcoin, right? I feel like it was a lot of manipulation. I just feel like there's just so much manipulation, and the news is right there with it, all the different news sources, especially the investing news sources, they're owned by big investment funds. They're owned by big people that have interests in certain investments, and what they say affects the market. And so it's like Nancy Pelosi and her husband and all the stocks they buy. They know directly what's going to happen, and they know when to buy and when to sell, and it's pretty screwed up, But for the little guy like us, we need to basically ride the waves like we're surfing. You know what I mean? We basically have to ride the waves, and if you like scalping, like I like scalping, that's what we need to do. And it's I have a lot of fun doing it. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? And, if I had the power that these guys have, I'd probably be doing it myself. It's hard to say what you would do if you were in their shoes, right? Now, let's touch on Shiba, because this is something that I know you guys, if you've been following me for a while, I know you guys most likely had Shiba, or you knew about Shiba. I first heard about Shiba on crypto moonshots on Reddit, right? And it was they put half their half the initial tokens into Alexi's wallet, and boy, that turned out to be something great. They had a great team behind Shiba. They had really dedicated people that kept driving it, right? It's turning into something pretty cool, and it looks like something's happening with Robinhood. It looks like we're gonna have some more cryptocurrency on Robinhood, and when that happens, man, if it's one of these what everyone's thinking it's going to be, there might be some pretty big movement. It's like, when's the next Dogecoin going to happen? When can you put, $1,000 into something and it's going to hit Robinhood, because there's going to be some big gains to be had there. Hoge, right? Hoge is heading to a top 5 exchange. This is what everybody's saying. Now, we've heard a lot of things in the past. A lot of times we hear, we're going to a top 10 exchange, and it ends up to be something that isn't that well known. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see where we end up. I guess it's kind of set in stone, but because of the non-disclosure agreement, they can't say what exchange it is. They're just trying to get all the paperwork done, get all the financial stuff in order. And then Hoge is going to be on one of these top 5 exchanges. Is it going to be Crypto.com? Well, I wish. That would be freaking awesome. I really like Crypto.com. I think they're running that business great, with all the advertising they're doing with UFC. with the advertiser doing it. There's a couple hockey teams and I believe a minor league baseball teams or something like this. But Crypto.com, they have, I don't really care for the fees. I don't really care for some things about the company. I gotta say the help, if you need help with Crypto.com, it's there. unlike Coinbase, you know. So we'll see what happens, you know. We'll see what happens with Hoge, with Shiba, and with these exchanges, you know, because you got to figure exchanges like Coinbase, exchanges like Crypto.com. I mean, this is kind of a new thing, you know. They're really trying to find their footing, and they're dancing with the government, and they're dancing with the public, you know. So, like I said, the whims of the public, it can change very fast. You know, you're loved today and hated tomorrow, right? But we'll see what happens in the future because you know, I feel like 2021, the rest of this year, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. You know, as winter's coming across the United States and people are in their houses more. I know the United States isn't locked down like Australia, but you know, people were out for the summer. As winter comes and people are in their house. I feel like there's going to be more people focusing on investing, and I think that's going to drive the market. I think we're gonna see some pretty good gains over the next few months. I think there's not going to be it's not going to be like a market wide gains like we saw with all the stimulus checks coming out, but I think there are a lot of gains to be had. Okay, so anyway, stay green, God bless, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.